Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a mommy related video. I am gonna tell you, just talk to you guys about some potty training tips that I have for on how I potty trained my daughter. This was a requested video by a subscriber of mine when I did my September favorites, and I showed you guys my little travel potty seat that I had for my daughter because we were potty training. So yeah, she did this request for me to do give these potty training tips. So yeah, let's just get into the video. And by the way, I wanted to tell you guys, every request that you guys leave down below, I will get back to you guys. I know it's a little late, but I just have all these other ideas and all these other videos that ideas that I jot down, and I'm trying to just keep up with, with the videos and stuff as well, like with my other beauty related videos as well. I know I don't do a lot of mommy related videos, but it's just because my daughter is getting older and I just don't, have like that many mommy related stuff because they're growing, they're just growing, and pretty much like the products that I use on them, they're the same thing. So like my routine is pretty much the same. But if I do buy like a good product like for my children, I do love to show you guys, especially on my monthly favorites. So if I know in the beginning of my channel, like when I first started my channel, it was totally mommy related, showing you guys how I packed my diaper bag and how I did certain things. But now that she is growing and she is becoming her own self, it's just kind of hard to do mommy related videos. So I kind of like jump to my beauty related stuff because I do have that passion for makeup. I do have that passion for fashion. It is a passion of mine. So I'm still gonna be doing mommy related videos here and there. So if you have any mommy related requests, leave it down below and I will get back to you. Or any video, if you have a beauty related video or a mommy related video, just let me know down below, and of course I will get back to you. A little late, but of course better late than never, right? And I do want to satisfy you guys as my viewers on any request that you guys have. I will get the video out for you guys. So jumping back to subject, I want to just clarify to you guys, when I started potty training my son and my daughter, it was very different from my son. Like, it was totally different scenarios. My son did take a little longer. Now my son is 6. But my son took a little longer to potty train than my daughter. My daughter picked it up more quicker. She did take her time when she was ready. She decided, but she did pick it up much quicker than my son. I don't know if me getting pregnant, when I was kind of starting to potty train with my son, kind of threw it off, but he did get potty trained. He was like the latest. My son was fully potty trained at 3.5 years old. Just because I did get pregnant, once he turned 3, I did get pregnant, and I started actually pushing it more to, being something he needed to learn. So I don't know if that threw my son off, and that is why he was potty trained a little later than my daughter. But I am going to tell you guys how I potty trained my daughter and how I introduced her to the potty and how I started, to do it. I didn't go off any online instructions, none of that. I didn't read anything. I just kind of went based off how my mom did it with my little sister, because I was 15 years old when my sister was born. So I kind of saw how my mom potty trained my sister. Even though I didn't do it quite exactly how my mom, potty trained my sister, but I did kind of learn for a little, got little tips here and there from her. So yeah, I feel that the right time to introduce your child to potty training is around 2 to 3 years old, like the latest. Just because, or you can start at 1.5, going to 2, but just because I feel like at that time they start comprehending better and understanding a little bit better. So I started at 2 years old. I started introducing the potty to my daughter, and I had a potty, a small potty seat, a little potty for my son that he never I bought it and he never went potty in that potty. When we taught him to start pottying, he wanted the big toilet right off the bat. And she didn't want the big toilet off the bat. She was like, no. So the first thing I had bought her was her own potty seat. We went potty seat hunting and I had her pick out her own potty seat so she can get excited. Even though I do have a potty seat for my son, but I just needed her. She wasn't so excited about the one my son had and the one that my son sits on. So she wanted one for herself. So we went out and she picked out a Dora one that made a little sound, one that says hooray when you potty. It just has a little button on the side. So I was like, you know, all excited because I rather teach a child to potty on the big seat, on the big toilet, just because it's way easier to clean. But she was not like, she did not budge. She did not want that seat. So yeah, we bought the potty seat and it was just sitting there because she did not want to go potty in the big toilet. So I pulled out the other potty that I had, like the little portable potty, the small ones. I pulled it out because I did have, you know, I had saved the one for my son since he didn't use it. So I did save that one and I started potty training her in that one. But, you know, since I feel like she was just not ready, you know. She did go potty once in a while. I would put her undies and she like would potty in the undie, like she would go, you know, number one in the undie, and it was just like, you know, she just didn't get the hint. Unless I would take the undie off, like unless she was going like nude, you know, like with no undie on, she would actually go to the potty because I think she would know that if she would go on the floor or something, mommy was going to be upset. So yeah, that's the only way she would actually go to the potty. Then she wouldn't let me know. I would put her undies and it was just getting like into a hassle. And then she just did, all of a sudden she did good for like 2 weeks and then she stopped. She didn't want to know nothing about the potty anymore. So one day I was at my friend's house and I had to go to the, you know, I had to go potty. And I told my friend, hey, can I borrow your restroom? So I went to her restroom and I went potty and I was telling her, hey, come with me. You know, I took my daughter with me and I was like, look, mommy goes potty. And, you know, because I started noticing the way I knew she was ready is because she didn't want the diaper on anymore. Like she didn't want it. It was like bugging her. She just didn't want nothing to do with the diaper. She would take it off in the morning and she would be like running nude in the house. So I was like, no. And I had to teach her how to wear an underwear because I didn't want her to confuse her thinking, because she was confused. She was at that point where she was confused that when she had no undie, she would go to the toilet. But when she had an undie, she would go on the undie. So it was like really confusing to her. So I kind of had to clear it up. So I was at my friend's house, like I said. To make it sure, I brought her in with me and my friend is potty training her son. So they had this little potty there that flushes and makes noise when you potty and it says hooray. But the one I had at home, it was just a simple one, no noise, no nothing. So she was like, oh, actually the potty that was at my friend's house looked like a little potty, like a little toilet. So my daughter was all excited to see that potty and she, like, you know, she decided to go on my friend's son's potty. And I told my friend, I was like, where'd you get it? So we talked about where she got the potty and I went out and got her one as well. So I went and got her one and she was excited because it flushed, it would make noise. Every time she would potty, it would say hooray, it would sing her a song and all that. So yeah, you have to definitely, I feel like if you get them a potty and one that they'll like, it kind of will motivate them to go because it will be exciting to go. Some parents do stickers, some parents do candy, some parents do stamps. There's all these little bribing little situations that you do. So yeah, we first started with potty number 1. Number 2, she would go once in a while, and then I did end up buying pull-ups. I didn't start off buying pull-ups right off the bat just because with my son, I did buy pull-ups like, okay, it's time for potty training, time for pull-ups. My son would go on the pull-up. And with her, I kept telling her that the pull-ups were undies. You know, I was like, this is not a pamper, this is an undie. You do not go pee-pee or popo in the undie. You know, I would tell her, and she would be like, okay. So she, like, you know, now that she like gets it that, you know, she can go to the restroom, she brings down her pull-ups, and you know, she's good with this. So I tell her these are undies, and we mainly use these on the go. When we're at home, we definitely use, you know, cloth undies at all times. She's already potty trained, so she already knows the feeling. She already knows, but it's all a process. She's right here. So it's all a process, guys. You just have to be patient. Some parents, they kind of go really strict on their child. I don't think that's a good way to go about potty training, because it will scare them. It will not want them to, they're gonna be like, no, you know, I'm not gonna go anymore. To some kids, yes, they are really scared that they learn right off the bat, and they're like, no, my mom's gonna spank me if I go on the floor, or if I have an accident. You know, my mommy's gonna get really upset. I have to go to the potty. But I didn't do that. I let my child go whenever she was ready. I did introduce her. I did motivate her. So I do feel that you should buy a potty seat that will motivate your child, and have them pick out a cute potty seat, whatever they like. It will motivate them. So yeah, so when we're at home, we definitely do undies. You know, we do. So when I'm at home, I do undies, like cloth undies. And sometimes when I go to church, since church is only like 5 minutes away, I just take her in an undie, and you know, she tells me that she needs to go. But now, you know, she like doesn't go potty in these anymore. She used to, and I used to put them when we were on the go. My only fear is that when she falls asleep, that she might want to go potty. But now she actually wakes up, and when she needs to go, she tells me, Mommy. She goes all the way to my room to wake me up in the middle of the night to tell me that she needs to go potty, and I help her out. She still to this moment does not know how to go on her own to the potty. My son did know how to go on his own. He would just go, you know, turn on the light, go in the middle of the night, and just go back to sleep. But my daughter doesn't, just because she's on the short side, and you know, now we kind of like took the small potty seats away. So now that she already is fully potty trained, I started pushing her to go to the big toilet, just because it makes cleaning much easier when she goes number 2, you know. It's just, that's the only reason why. But you can totally leave your child as long as you desire to go on the small potty seat. But I prefer, for cleaning purposes, for much easier cleaning, I prefer the big toilet. So I am like pushing her to go to the big toilet. I did buy these little steps, you know, like little stool, so she can go, you know, it can help her out, you know, reach the potty. So yeah, she is doing good, and I am so proud of her. I am so happy that I didn't have to do stickers or stamps or candy, like bribing her in that way. So I think the best way to bribe your child is to buy them something that will motivate them, something that they like. You know, it's like when you buy a toy, like when you take your child to buy a toy and they buy their favorite toy and they are all hooked on their favorite toy. So yeah, that's what I pretty much did. And then my son kind of helped out too. He was like, it's time for you to go potty. We would totally all the time remind her if she needed to go potty. When we first started potty training, we were, do you need to go potty? Do you need to go potty? So yeah, you do need to be constant on that too. You know, she's not going to pick, you know, your child's not going to pick it up as quick as you think it is. You do have to remind them constantly as when you are teaching them how to potty train. Another thing that you would want to do, because with little girls it is harder because you have to sit them down. So a little review. So I do recommend for you to buy your child a potty seat of their choice. Second, I do recommend you to buy pull-ups once they start getting the hang of potty training. Don't buy it to start potty training. Buy it when they start getting the hang of it, when they start knowing the feeling of potty training, of the feeling on how to go, number 1, the feeling of number 2. Once they start getting the hang of it, buy pull-ups, or else they're gonna think these are diapers and they're just gonna go on in these. And putting them on when you're on the go, that way they don't have an accident. They won't have an accident when they fall asleep or when you are on the road. So highly recommend pull-ups. Another thing that I highly recommend, and the reason why I purchased one is because my daughter was not going number 2 for like for 2-3 days, and she needed to go, and we were out and about, and she just wouldn't want to go in the toilet. She wanted me, she told me, she was like, I was like, Mommy, if you need to go, like don't hold it because your tummy's gonna hurt, because she was complaining that her stomach was hurting. And I told her, just go, you know, this is the potty, I'm holding you. And she was like, no, bring my potty, you have to bring my potty. And I was like, I'm not going to be carrying your potty everywhere, you know? And that's when I first started teaching her in the small potty. So I realized that she needed something for her to feel more safe in the toilet. So I went out, and it's not that expensive. It's only $10. I did go out to Babies R Us and bought a foldable potty seat, and this has come very in handy, especially for those gross potties, you know, when you're out and about, those public restrooms. This is perfect. I put the seat liners, and then I put this on top, and I sit her down, and it's perfect. It holds her. She feels safe. She does not feel scared of falling into the toilet. So highly recommend those. So I also recommend for you to switch to flushable wipes. These are biodegradable. You can just flush them down the toilet. Another thing that I've heard and seen a lot of mommies do when they're potty training their child, I'm just telling you guys this because they do show it. I've seen what's in my diaper bag videos for toddlers, and they, you know, they show it. They show this. You can carry Post-its. You know, you just pull a Post-it, and you know, you can cover the sensor of those public restrooms just so your child won't get scared if the toilet just automatically flushes. I don't have that problem with my daughter. My daughter just laughs about it. So yeah, you can carry Post-its. Another thing that I highly recommend, and I don't have it here, is for you to carry Clark's wipes, because you do want to wipe. What I do, I'm a germaphobe, guys. I do wipe down the toilet first, and then I put the seat liners, and then I put my potty seat, and then I clean the potty seat with the a Clark's wipes as well. So these were my tips on potty training, and I hope it was helpful. I'm just like telling you guys how I did it, and hopefully my tips are helpful to you. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and if you have any other mommy requested videos, leave it down below, or any beauty related videos, just leave it down below and I will get those videos out for you guys. Muchos besos, los quiero muchos. Bye guys.